Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here today. Thank you for joining me. If you want to follow along, we will be in First John chapter 2 and looking at verses 7 and 8. He says, "Beloved, I'm writing you no new commandment, but an old commandment that you had from the beginning. The old commandment is the word that you have heard. At the same time, it is a new commandment that I am writing to you, which is true in him and in you, because the darkness is passing away and the true light is already shining." He says here what he's addressing is, again, he has already been he's been talking about how we are to walk in the light, how we are to be no longer in darkness, but to walk in the light of God's love, to walk in the light of God's instructions. And to that, he says here, I'm not writing to you some new commandment. I'm not telling you anything different than has always been the rule. The commandment has always been to love God, to follow God, to be obedient in your walk, to live like the Word commands us to live according to His direction, to His will. He says, that's nothing new. He says, it's not like I've told you something different. It's whether or not you follow the commands of God. And, I think about, as I think about this passage, it may not be the greatest illustration, but I remember as a kid, we'd go over to the theme park over Carowinds, and they had a ride they actually had two of them. One of them was like race cars, and one of them were old jalopies. Some of you may remember this. Old jalopies like the Beverly Hillbillies, and you could get in them, and they had gasoline engines in them, and kind of like a go-kart, I guess, and you'd press the gas pedal, and it had a steering wheel, and you could drive it, and you could make it go left, right, and you could speed up, slow down, but the road you drove them on had a steel rail that ran right down the middle of it. And again, you could turn the steering wheel and you could go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, but ultimately you had to go where that steel rail went. You could turn the wheel to the left and that car just kept right on following that steel rail. And what John is saying here is that a believer, he says, this is not a new commandment. This is not something that you shouldn't be shocked by this. He says a believer is like those old cars. It followed the steel rail that went down the middle of the road. A believer, he says, is going to follow the commandments of God. He's going to be obedient to what God has told him to do. And what John is going to stress here, and we'll look at Monday, is the fact that the key command is that we love each other, that we love our brother, and that anyone that doesn't love their brother isn't walking in the light, as he has already described. And he says, this is not a new thought. He says, this is not something that has come out of nowhere. It's always been the expectation that we would be obedient to the direction, to the Word of God. Nothing new in that statement. And so the question that I leave you with for the weekend is, are we following the old commandment? Are we being obedient to the Word that we've had from the beginning, John says? That we are obedient, that we walk in light, as he has already said, that we follow the direction, the will, the Word of God in our life. Follow the old commandment today. Have a good one. We'll see you here Monday morning.